What's up, everybody? It's Brian with HappyThumbsGaming, and we've got level 6 High Noon Saloon STORY for LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. That's right, we're going to get a trophy achievement for completing it, as well as that gold brick, and if our math is correct, that stud requirement should be right around 150k. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into a quick cutscene. Ooh, what's that smell?
Foul stench.
A swamp? I've got this!
Looks like someone has beaten thee to it. Have at thee!
Thor, no!
My apologies. I mistook thee for a hideous swamp creature.
Huh?
I mean, obviously a very attractive hideous swamp creature. Have you had your hair done? It looks very swampy. I mean, swanky. Oh, thank the gods. A fight!
Boy, Thor sure has a way with the ladies, don't he? All right, watch out for Man-Thing. I'm not sure why they call him that. I guess I won't go into my reasons for it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and struggle miserably with this. It turns out this is quite the challenge for Brian, as, you know, I had a hard time with this. I really just... I don't know why I feel like I had a hard time with it. Maybe it's just kind of a time-based event and it's supposed to take this long, but I just felt like I should have not struggled as much. And look, I keep getting grabbed by these little vines. I'm not really sure why or where they're coming from. And you know, again, this is not me complaining about the game. This is me complaining about my skill. Like, the game is great. I don't mind any of this stuff. I was just having a hard time with it for whatever reason. So... anyhow, hey, check us out on patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming. If you're not familiar with it, there's some cool things that are available there. A specific Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're a Patreon supporter and you're not part of that Facebook group, you need to make sure you message me your Facebook profile info so I can go ahead and add you. That's something that I can't physically do on my own. I need to manually do it, and I need some help so I don't add the wrong people, you know what I mean? But we have some special exclusive giveaways and other things that happen on that Facebook group. So, yeah, I think the entry level is like, what, $1 or $2 or something to be a part of that group. So, if you like giveaways and you like talking with other Happy Thumbs gamers and you feel like we've helped you out, you want to support us, that might be a great way to do it. Now, watching our videos is also a great way. That's really all we ever ask of you guys, is just to simply watch. However, with the way things have been on YouTube, it seems like our videos aren't finding as many people lately, and even when we do find people, there's those discrepancies with the ads, and, you know, we're pretty family friendly. We don't run any adult content or adult commentary here, nor is any of our metadata such, so I'm not sure why we keep getting flagged. So it's kind of a sad story. We're not getting as many views as we used to, and on top of that, the views that we are getting are actually being removed from ad possibilities due to not being suitable for all advertisers. Now, I still have yet to find out why we're not suitable, as again, we don't play unfriendly games, we don't have unfriendly commentary, there's no, you know, adult language, grown stuff, or nothing. So, still trying to figure that one out, how we keep getting flagged. And it's literally every single video. Like, I'm not kidding. Every single video we upload goes through this process, and you guys may notice, you may show up and there may not be any ads on our video, and that's why. So anyhow, enough of that sob story. Really, I was just trying to cover up this noobness on screen with a distraction, and hopefully I succeeded. Anyway, we're getting to the home stretch here of this battle with Man-Thing, and he's gonna go ahead and go elsewhere because we're done with him. So, oh yeah.
What in the name of...
By Odin's bristly chest hair. The nexus of all realities. The gateway to every era. Then this beast was...
Its guardian. Man-Thing. A veritable thorn in my side since I dragged his festering swamp into Chronopolis. And the final defiant obstacle standing in the way of my master plan. So, bravo. You few have accomplished what an army of vibranium soldiers could not.
Code Red! Code Red! Everyone back to the mansion ASAP!
Now is the time for tooth and claw. Now is the time for war. Let the mightiest rise up. Step forth and face me, for then I shall prove that I, Kang the Conqueror, am the greatest. For surely there is no man who can stand in my way.
Thanks, Wings. That guy was giving me a headache.
It wasn't me. Something interfering with the signal. From outside. From beyond Chronopolis. It's too weak. I can't lock on.
If we redirect the signal through the mansion's comms matrix, we can more than double the strength. Hank, hand me that spanner.
No. The other one.
But we'll still need a negative ion emitter to clear up the distortion, and that kind of tech isn't easy to find.
I wonder. We sent Star-Lord and Drax to take bio readings with a couple of scanners earlier. Could those devices not be reconfigured to locate a suitable emitter?
And with the amount of future tech in Chronopolis, I'd say our chances are good.
What?
Oh, Hank, don't talk with your mouth full.
Sorry.
Gamora, think you can track down your buddies?
My pleasure. Rocket, Groot, let's go.
I am Groot.
Get moving, you bag of sticks. You need the exercise.
Alright, so although this is technically part of the cinematic scene, as you can see, we're still in widescreen mode here with the black bars on top and bottom. It was kind of confusing as to why it took so long. I have even sped this video up ever so slightly for the most part, but this section even more. And it's still kind of a long, very dramatic, swooping shot around this big vortex. And I'm sure that's of importance. I'm sure we're going to have to deal with that piece by piece and get there. But for the sake of this video, it seemed rather long and, you know, unrealistic for the purpose it was trying to serve. So the camera finally swoops in and around over here. And look at this. We've got our heroes. We've got Rocket. We've got Gamora. And we've also got Groot. We've got Groot. And we also got the Man-Thing character token for completing that last section. And, oh, so we're in a free roam kind of task right now where we actually have to travel from point A to point B. So this is kind of, it does two things here. Not only does it give us an opportunity to grab some more studs, and usually the game kind of teaches us things. Like in this particular case, it's teaching us, you know, how to use the vehicles and when to use them. And also how to get from point A to point B and kind of learning the area as you go through it. So that being said, you know, we got this purple arrow we got to follow in the old Ghost Blue Stud Trail. However, it's really not known how far that purple little location beaker is there. And as it turns out, it's quite a ways. So if I were you, you know, might want to take advantage of those fast forward buttons right now, as it is going to be a minute or two before we get to the actual meat and potatoes. So it's actually the next cutscene, which leads us into the actual level High Noon Saloon itself. Like, as you guys probably remember and know, this is kind of the in-between stuff, as I was just saying. And when we return for free play, we're not going to have to drive from that last location all the way through town to get, we'll just start at the next location and get the collectibles within there. So at this point, I'm like, all right, this snowmobile is not fast enough, so let's go ahead and find something faster. Now, I got really excited when I saw that flying car, but I'd already wasted enough time, so I thought, I gotta go, I just gotta go. Pedal to the metal. Come on, Brian, let's roll, let's roll. So I take off in this car, which is much faster, but it just kind of seems to keep going and going and going. So here in a second, after a little mishap, I should have made a right back at Albuquerque. I actually stop and I realize, wait a minute, I've got a long ways to go still. And then I think, oh wait, Groot is actually kind of fast too if I roll up in this ball. So I start rolling with Groot, and at this point I'm thinking I should have gotten a flying vehicle, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta go in this tunnel, so Groot is the key. Guess what? We're gonna come out the other side of the tunnel, and we've still got more ground to cover. So at this point, I'm like, all right, that's it. I am officially going to get myself airborne, and we're not going to waste any more time. Here, see me hit the brakes? And once I did, the irony kicks in even more because guess what? Guess where that purple arrow is now? It's like right there. But I can't tell that. It just seems like it's going forever and ever and like it's just way off in the distance. So like I said, I'm done. I'm ready to go ahead and spawn a vehicle. So I'm going to do that by pressing the character select button, which is triangle or Y. And then I'm going to tap the square button or X, depending on which console. If this is out for the Switch, again, I still haven't learned the Switch buttons. I'm terrible, I know. But look at this. So I finally fly and boom, it's right there. I could have thrown a rock from where I was. And now, ironically, too, it takes me a while to figure out the proper spot to land, but I eventually make a 10-point landing. Did you notice that? And look at that. We'll go ahead and jump in the halo, and away we go.
Nexus destroyed by Kang. Helped by the Avengers, my sources tell me. Sure, they didn't know they were helping Kang, but that's not the point, people. Because the heroes beat the Guardian of the Nexus Man-Thing, Kang was able to blast it into fragments, enabling him to bring Chronopolis into a single time zone. That's good news and bad news. The good news is we can now get out of Manhattan and see if the rest of Chronopolis has a decent golf course. The bad news is now every creep in Chronopolis can get into our city and slug it out with each other to see who's worthy of facing Kang. Okay, Avengers. You broke it, so what are you gonna do to fix it? Seems they've sent a team to the Old West to secure a power source to help boost a strange beyond Chronopolis signal of some kind.
Snap! We ain't playing no snap. You low-down, dirty, cheating swine!
Now just hold on a minute. Gamora!
Give me your scanner. You two are supposed to be taking readings.
Oh yeah, I totally was. But then Drax found this place and it had music and
tacos.
We have to find a negative ion emitter. Your scanner should now pick it up. Now get out there and start searching.
How does it work?
See that blinky light? If it don't flash, you don't have it. If it does...
Your blinky light lies. I do not have it.
Outlaws! What is that?
That, my fuzzy friend, is our power source.
I am MODOK, the ultimate human-machine interface, and more importantly, the law!
Well, not in my town.
Isn't that...
Don't ask. This place gets weirder by the day. Bring it!
Bring it, he says, and MODOK. This guy again. Boy, we've sure been seeing a lot of him lately in games, or so it seems. Anyways, we've got a little saloon to tear down as we kind of got a little cue from the name of the level. But check this out. So, essentially, there's a bunch of locals hanging out, playing cards, drinking some, I don't know, moonshine, whatever it may be. And, you know, they don't like us disrupting their card games by doing the old butt slams on their tables. If you notice, I kind of took out most of the available seating, so looks like if you had reservations, they are officially canceled. Now, I'm up on the stage. I see these silver chests, and I'm 100% sure that that is how I'm going to make my next step with MODOK. But as it turns out, that's actually a free play related situation. So although I got really lucky with that second chest on the right, you know, it seems like you just can't quite turf those grenades by MODOK to get that final one. And I finally give up here in a second. But I was smart enough to kind of turn around and throw a grenade at that flashing box behind me. And I only have one left. Now, I didn't notice that at the time, but it was actually right there in front of the stage. But I went crazy and took out Buddy's little table here. And yeah, your dinner party is officially canceled. And we're going to go upstairs here onto this balcony because we were sure there was something else up here, but we find some studs, and you know us, we got to get them all. So we grabbed them all, and I saw a little blue up in the front there, and I saw some in the back, and I finally see those bouncing bricks, and I run down and get my build on, and I build up one of those old, well, it kind of looks like a, what is it, a gramophone? I can never remember the name of that when I need to. However, there is a pump it up spot, so we'll go ahead and use Rocket Raccoon and his awesome special charge power, which will bring out the old dancers for some river dancing. So, to be honest with you, I wish I could river dance. I actually, being a carry, I have a lot of Irish blood in me, too. And, oh, look at that. I knocked that old jukebox up, and it puked out a bunch of studs for me. And, like I mentioned earlier, I knew there was a bluesy behind there. So, hey, look at this. MODOK is stunned, and so I'm like, all right, I'm going to go check out this chest thing here and make sure. Because, again, at this point, I wasn't convinced that it was a free play item. And look at that, 1 of 3. Yeah, that's gonna be anytime you build something up and it makes that special little sound of achievement there, that little plink, and it gives you a number of, that's always an indication that it's gonna be something related to the free play. Now, I don't know why I was so like prone to throwing these grenades. I just liked throwing them at him. They don't seem to even be doing much damage to him. However, I could get him off pretty quick, and I could shoot him from a distance, which was nice. And even getting up close, I certainly didn't have the same luck with Gamora. And look at that, you know me, I try to avoid those mini kits, which happens to be one on the bottom back side of those stairs there. He tossed me back, and I almost landed smack dab right on the middle of that thing. That would have been terrible. I would have had to restart this whole section over again. However, I probably would have done a lot better in that first section, you know, where I was like getting owned by that boss. And then a second section where I was like getting owned by the unknown distance between point A and point B. That was terrible as well. So, all right, MODOK is still putting up a good fight as I'm flapping my yapper here. I get upstairs there, and I toss a couple of nades at him. Now, of course, you could get up there and give him the old pow right in the kisser. That always works, too. Now, I noticed this checkerboard path over here, and I also noticed this little barrel of goodies. And so I pushed it all the way down, thinking it was going to maybe bust open that little gate there, preventing it from going down. I thought maybe that would give me something, but then I kind of freaked out and thought, oh, no, that's probably a free play-related item. I better avoid that. But as it turns out, here in a minute, MODOK actually makes his way up there, and we can use that against him. So I basically saved a little bit of time for an upcoming event that's important, but we're not quite there yet. In fact, we've got some twirly pulls you might want to make note of right above him right now. In fact, he's actually going into intermission, as he calls it, so quick break. I'm not sure we allowed a little 15-minute break, although most governments do require a certain amount of breakage in between work. But I don't know if fighting us, the good guys, and being I mean, he's basically terrorizing, right? I mean, he's not doing for the greater good. He's a bad guy. So I don't know if that warrants any kind of special break time. So we're going to go ahead and put an end to his break by spinning to win all the way up to that middle twirly pole. And look at that. We dropped a couple of wagon wheels. What? Turns out it's a cannon on wheels. So we're going to get our blast on here in just a second. And unfortunately, we're not going to put one of these other minifigs in the cannon and launch it. It's just a simple cannon. And kaboom goes the room. And look at that. MODOK is back out and ready for some more fighting. And boy, there's definitely some moments in this game where, you know, my wife's watched a little bit. Reese has watched a little bit. You know, it's hard to tell who's fighting and who's winning sometimes because there's just so much chaos and carnage on screen going on. And it just turns into a crazy button masher where I'm just like, spam, 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 spam. You know, and I like doing the old butt slams too. I feel like butt slams do a fair amount of damage if used properly. And so I definitely do a lot of those as well. But it feels like, you know, I gotta be honest, my fingers are definitely getting some workouts, specifically my thumbs. So, yeah, not so happy thumbs, really, after some of these action sequences, if I'm being totally honest. Maybe it's just old and fatigue, I don't know, but we got ourselves smashed around again. Make sure if you do get knocked down to no hearts that you make sure you clean up all those blue studs, as you don't want to lose out on 1,000+ every time you get knocked down. Now, hey, look at that. I took advantage of my special attack. Gamora has that spin to win attack, and it certainly was winning. So I used that a couple of times. He's getting pretty depleted. We're almost to the end. He goes up into this left balcony. We give him the old smackaroonie. He drops down to the middle. And wait for it. That's right. I'm up close and personal. And speaking of personal, he goes way up high right to where we personally moved. Oh, I guess, no, I'm wrong. He's down in the middle first. So we're not quite to that spot yet. But I did move that barrel down the checkerboard path already, and we're waiting for him. We're ready. But we got to switch on over to Drax real quick because he has to do a ground pound here, or butt slam, as I like to call it. And he reveals a Captain America shield spot where we can hop on and reflect that heat ray that he is using from his, I don't know what that is, his third eye, I guess? That's some pretty powerful third eye-age. But reflect it on back to him. It removes his shield. He goes all over the room like a balloon being deflated. And look at that. He knocked off that gate just as I had indicated he would. And he's kind of seeing stars right down below it. He's not sure what to do, but we are sure what we need to do. We're going to go ahead and climb up those stairs. But hey, not before checking the area for some last-minute studdage. And ooh, luckily I did. A couple of bluesies hiding out behind that bar over there. But all right, we'll follow the old stud trail up top. And if you have not already pushed that barrel down the checkerboard path and make it rain bricks onto MODOK's head, and it should take us into another cutscene. And then we have a nice little train sequence that we have to take on before the final total. So it ain't over yet, boys and girls. Oh, look at that. It's chicken time? Chicken pile on the MODOK? I don't know.
Be gone, you foul, foul!
You monsters! We've lost the signal.
What happened to Fancy Captain America?
Who cares? Probably mopping up the last bad guys. Let's find that a minute. Great. Okay, you guys keep searching. I'll go rescue the log.
Agreed. We'll rendezvous back at the mansion.
I knew I recognized that trait. Come on, Arizona Annie. We got us some villains to catch.
We sure do, Kid Colt.
Mind if I tag along? They just kidnapped my raccoon. And his houseplant.
Why, sure, sugar. If y'all don't mind sharing.
Mine? Why, it would be my pleasure, ma'am.
Hold tight, sugar. You okay, sugar? Here, let me help you.
What?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Noob alert, noob alert. That's right. A little news flash for you. I had never heard of old Kid Colt before. So, although we are in the Wild Wild West, it's weird because this does remind me a lot of Emmett in our adventures in the Wild Wild West of the Lego movie. Even the train sequence, it reminds me a lot of it. And if you remember, I was terrible at the train and jumping from handheld to handheld on that too. And I died like 6 or 7 times. And I'm going to relive that right now, because why not? Not on purpose, of course. This was not only the noob alert for being unaware of who Kid Colt is, but also noob alert for my actual actions on screen here. But luckily, I make it all the way to the end, and I get up and give the old, I give the old butt slam, right? I mean, he was playing the old flute there, and unfortunately for him, that was the end of his flute playing days. So last I heard, he's done. I like broke his fingers, and no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. He may have a new job playing the flute for some other bad guy. We may run into him. We'll have to wait and see. But check it out. We have one of those gravity thingy-me-bobbers, and we use that, and it sucked all of the local stuff next to us. Not local, but the next stuff up above. That crane, it fell down, and now we can use it as sort of a bridge to get across from one cart to the next. And we got a couple of mad clowns over here. I'm not sure why they're so angry, but they certainly are not happy to see us. And, I don't know why. We're certainly friendly people, and, I mean, who wouldn't want to hang out with a cowboy like Kid Colt? He certainly seems like a friendly young lad. He reminded me a little bit of a Woody, too. So there's definitely some homage, I feel, going on here to maybe the Lego movie, as well as, and maybe there's more going on. Like I said, I'm not familiar with old Kid Colt, so this may be a reference to a particular comic, I mean, I'm sure that the developers of the game are using real life stuff like the comics to go ahead and use for inspiration. And I know some of you diehards out there are like, yes, I remember reading this comic and doing, yes. And me, I'm like, yeah, hey, tightrope across. And, I'm totally oblivious. So anyhow, after a little tight pants tightroping, we got a whole slew of clowns. I keep waiting for the little mini car to pop up where, like 20 clowns pop up out of, and you're like, how in the heck did they fit all of it? But it doesn't ever happen. So I was a little disappointed. Now, you're going to be a little disappointed in me. It clearly shows me a time or two that Kid Colt needs to use his grapple abilities to go ahead and pull that hammer back and let loose. But unfortunately, I missed all of those cues, and I tried to go across the hard way, and I fall. Then I try. I'm thinking, all right, well, Star-Lord can fly. Maybe I can just fly across, and he's got to do something over there. And I try to jump and fly, and that doesn't work. And then I realize, wait a minute, we got ourselves a lasso. So we go ahead and round ourselves up a giant hammer, and look at that, it's hammer time. And I knock that big old thing down, ring the bell, and all that. And all of a sudden, we've got Captain Corbett. Again, you'll have to forgive me. This must be one of Kid Colt's nemesises, or nemesi. Is that how you say that? Think about that. Is it nemesises or nemesisi? Kind of like octopus, octopi. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. And check it out. I got really lucky on this first jump. So unfortunately, you need to have Star-Lord get up and over that big box. So you got this little teeter-totter here, and I get up on it on the wrong side, but then I make my way up, and I, weigh it down so it's actually the right way. But see, I should have gone and jumped right up and over right now with Star-Lord, because that's who you need to be. So don't waste any time with Kid Colt. And ooh, look at this. I used one of those super awesome collaborative whoopins, but I didn't get anybody. No whoopins took place. So I got really lucky on that jump. And when I get over here, look, it's a gravity booster. So we can build it up, and that's great. But unfortunately, we need our buddy Star-Lord over there a little closer to be able to activate that. So I struggle with this guy. Look, we're playing a little game on the teeter-totter here. It's like, King of the Hill, and I almost make that first jump, but no such luck. So I have to go all the way back over here, and I'm like, come on, buddy, come on down. That's right. You're the next contestant on Teet or Totter. And look at this. It looks like I'm the Totter again, because I made it. That's right. I forgot. Second time's the charm. Normally it's the rule of 3, whether I want it to be or not. But hey, this gravity booster comes in handy as it pulls this cannon back as well as the cart in front of us, giving us access to go on ahead. And it also, it frees the bear here. And I thought for sure this bear was going to be angry because everybody else seems to be mad at us. But no, he was actually happy to see us. He even dropped a purple stud for us. So yeah, and he was questioning President Bear. That was a little questionable as well. So we can actually step up to the backside of the cannon and load up Star-Lord. And for the grand finale, wait for it, pew pew.
You cannot defeat me! I am Modoc! There is nothing!
Chickens.
Nice folk. Funny looking.
They sure were. Real sweet.
I am Groot.
Glad to have you back. I just wish we'd managed to get that device before we sent it south covered in chickens.
You mean this?
Rocket, my man! If you didn't smell like that, I would so kiss you right now. Okay, so how are we getting back?
Aha!
No. Oh, booyakashow! Circus of Crime doesn't pay. Modoc down. And look at that, we officially have completed the 6th
level. That's right. We are making some good ground here. I'd like to say, anyways. It feels that way. We got about 70% overall of the required stud. Oh, look at our overall studdage. We are shooting for that 800K, if you forgot, and that's where we're going to purchase our 2X pink brick stud multiplier. That's still kind of hard or funny to say, but we're going to go ahead and do that as soon as possible. Now, look at that. We officially have old school Captain America, or Wild West, and Kid Colt. So if you ever wanted to play, cowboys and robbers or whatever, at least you got some cowboys, and I'm sure you could find a robber or two amongst our bad guys. I don't know if Corbett he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I mean, he seems like maybe one of those kind of disgruntled circus workers, but he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He just seems like maybe a hug would solve his problems. But hey, that's actually going to wrap it up for LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 Level 6 High Noon Saloon Story. Check us out on any of our social pages. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and of course, we got a Thumbie must-see video for you. As for me, I'm going to wrap this up and get on to Level 7. So, as always, until next time...